Oh, guys.
If we're doing grunts, that's how we're starting this one.
Yeah. But me specific, my grunts have a reason. Guys, I don't know if you know this about me, but I've done every drug.
Have you now?
Everyone. Name
every
one.
Single one.
Name a drug, and I've done it.
The Chilean slice.
Yes.
Okay.
What about mainland Taiwanese rock salts?
Is that a drug?
He's just making things up now. No, Alex, you are. You know what the audience should know. You are my original stoner friend. It's all your fault. So.
I don't know if I want that on the podcast.
It's you. It's you. It was you. It was you. It was you that gave me my first joint. And if we're sharing things, if we're being honest, if the audience is now our friend, they should know. They should know how this friendship started.
With one joint, with just a joint passed from one bro to another.
It was a Lady and the Tramp kind of situation. I started on one end of the joint and Harold on the other, and we.
It was terrible. It was nothing
I'm not sure
like
that's
that.
how joints work.
That's how joints work.
It was nothing like that. I was an ambitious, young, innocent boy. I had a whole life
some
ahead
might
in
say.
front of me.
Listen, I have a bad and unfortunate joint type story that I could share if we're doing drug stories.
No, I don't want to do drug stories.
I feel like we're getting into something specific here. We're driving at a point.
I'm just saying that it is true that Alex does a lot of drugs and he's a peer pressuring monster.
It's true.
And I could have been up at saxophone university right now, being a saxophonist or a prestigious poet person with a very large chest, but no, I'm here on this podcast because I smoked weed that one time with Alex.
Well, point I was trying to make was I just don't feel like drugs just have the kick that I'm looking for, right? Like I don't doesn't get me there. I need
your tolerance is so high because of the consistency, frequency, and volume with which you do all of the drugs.
And because we're getting old, and our feelings are like our nervous system is slowly dying faster because of all the drugs.
Yeah, it's taken me to some dark places. You don't know how many things I've just crunched up and rolled up and tried to smoke because I'm just searching for that new high. You know, I'm a styrofoam cups, they don't do anything.
That's bad for the environment, Alex. You're not supposed to burn those.
Yeah, but you crunch them up and then you roll them in a joint and you take a fat
You're still
rip.
burning it though.
Take a fat rip and it doesn't get you anywhere, It like copper wire. I crunch it all up and I roll it in a joint and I take another fat rip.
Do you, Alex, are you sure you know what drugs are?
Jelly beans.
Are you just smoking things? Are you just finding are you just going down to
Are you inhaling the things at like some like construction site next door or something?
Are you going to a dumpster and just hauling out the refuse and putting it in rolling papers and smoking it? Is that your only frame of reference for drug use?
Sour Skittles. I just crunch them up and I roll them in a joint and I try to take
You're using the same exact nomenclature for every drug that you're using. You're describing the same process for everything that you're talking about.
Fat sour Skittle rips. And it just doesn't get me there, guys. I need something more. Not even gummy bears. What kind of world we living in where gummy bears don't
it's because you're
there.
In Texas, Alex, and you're eating the wrong gummy.
How's the styrofoam in California? Does it Harold, does it get you there?
I don't smoke styrofoam, Alex. I'm a grown man. I smoke dank ass legal weed. I smoke marijuana. I smoke it from California, grown next to a winery, and I like it like that. I like it locally sourced and problematic and taking more water than necessary from the local agriculture.
Harold,
yes.
Harold, are you still there, Harold?
Sorry, what? Yes.
Harold, how about the copper wire? Does it get you there?
Is the copper wire also locally sourced?
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, there's a huge issue of people stealing combustible, like the wires from cars and stuff, like the copper stuff from cars and parking lights and things like that. Is that what we're talking about?
I know around here there's a huge problem of people stripping copper out of like homes. Like they go in, because copper pipes are used for plumbing, and they steal it. Ironically enough, to sell for drugs usually is the expected purpose of doing this.
I'm glad this terrible bit wrapped right back around to current events. I'd like this. This is good.
Well, people have been stealing copper wire and catalytic converters is what you're thinking of.
That's what I was thinking of.
For a
Alex,
long
by
time.
people, Alex means Alex has been doing that.
Yeah, me. It's me. I steal them. I crunch them up. I roll them into fat, sick joints, and I take hard rips. And you know what? It doesn't get me there.
We should get your wife into this podcast today. Maybe she should sit in this. That's right, Alex. I've been threatening to get your wife involved in this conversation.
I could call her. I could ask her.
She could tell us all about your fat rips.
Your wife is down. She parties.
Terrible
And she knows when I say fat, I'm saying like pH fat, because that's how
that makes it so much worse.
that's how people do drugs say fat, you know?
Alex, is there a point that you're driving at with all of this? with how there's nothing in the world that can satisfy you at this point?
Look, this is a cry for help. So, hello everyone. We're the hosts of 2 Weeks, One Shot, and this is TWOS Talks, a podcast inside a podcast, inside your ears, that was inside a pill, and you took it, and now we're extracting a small umbilical machine out of your belly button, and you're gonna wake up in the real world, where we, the aforementioned hosts of TWOS Cast, are having strokes and talking about just, whatever. Say hi. Hi. You're not doing it. You're not saying hi.
Okay. All right. Hi, I'm Harold, and I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just chilling, bro. Just going with the flow. If you got like a bottle of water or something, I'd totally take it.
Yeah, I'm Brian, and honestly, I'm feeling more and more like this show, or at least this episode, is one big stroke that we're all collectively having.
Maybe this is all just been like a bad dream, and we're gonna wake up in some field outside of Kerrville, Texas, and then we'll get back in our cars and pretend like it never happened.
Now, which movie reference is that?
That's my real life. That's
Okay.
all roads lead to Kerrville, Texas for Harold.
My life is a movie, but it hasn't been made yet.
Yeah, no, hopefully it won't.
And I'm Alex. And I'm just trying to do fat rips. Guys, why don't you understand?
Alex, I really want you to stop saying that.
I'm never gonna stop. Really, what I'm trying to get at is all these real world drugs. Like, they're for wusses. For they're not gonna get you. They're not gonna get you there. Now, what is going to get you there? The sci-fi and fantasy world has such a plethora, such an offering of fantasy drugs. So I just thought, why don't we look up a few, and we talk about some of our favies.
You want us to just talk about our favorite drugs that don't exist?
Yeah,
I'm into it.
It's the safest.
That's fair. Into it. No, I like it.
Okay, yeah, and you know what? I'm gonna start it off with something that unfortunately does not have a lot of information on it, because it is a quickly mentioned and thrown away reference. The popular drug in Star Wars called death sticks.
That's right. So this was the post trilogy Star Wars, right? This is the new Star Wars.
No, death sticks were in the prequel.
Yeah.
This is where my Alex has actually planted this topic as just a way to tease out my Star Wars movie nerd.
Oh, Jesus. Okay,
death sticks were introduced in Attack of the Clones by a character whose name was originally, I shit you not, called Elan Sleaze Bagano. That was his name. And then they changed it a little bit because they were like, that's really fucking stupid.
A little on the nose.
But it's the scene at the beginning where they're hunting the like changeling assassin. And they go into the bar and Obi-Wan's there, and the guy at the bar is like, do you want to buy some death sticks? And it was like, you don't want to sell me death sticks. You want to go home and rethink your life. And then the guy leaves, and that's it. Like, that's the entire scene.
You think death sticks would have been like, you think they're like low on calories, right? Maybe, like maybe.
Well, I don't know. I'm trying to remember, because I know that I I'm pretty sure I've looked this up before because it's such a weird moment that I was curious about like what it even has to do with anything. And I don't even, but that was a long time ago and like has no bearing on anything. I don't remember what death sticks even like how they function if we know that much. I'm sure we know a lot because every fucking single line thing in Star Wars and every character like Ilan Sleaze-Bagano has a full name and backstory and history and what do they do outside of the film and what's their second cousin's name. And death sticks, like there's probably a whole slew of information about them out there that you can find.
Sure. Well, let's do some like deduction here.
How they're used and what they do and everything. I do feel like if memory serves, they look like sort of neon sticks of something. They kind of look like glow sticks, I think.
Yeah, let's do some deduction here. I mean, let's think. This is George Lucas's mind, so it's probably something he saw at a Grateful Dead concert.
Yeah. Glow sticks makes sense.
Right. So it's marketing, right? Probably doesn't really kill you. It's something you get at a club. It sounds like a little spooky to keep the kids away, of course. But it's probably like ecstasy. It's probably something like that.
Yeah, I imagine it's probably like a club drug. And my only question is like, I'm curious, like, is it something where like, do you like smoke or inhale this? Is it like something you drink? Is it topical? Is it injected?
I bet it's like a jerky.
I'm not sure.
Just kind of take a big old rip out of it.
You just bite right into the like glass tube of neon.
I think Harold's right. You do take a rip out of it. A fat rip out of a death stick. So look, there's not a lot of information about death sticks. All right, I'm gonna prove you wrong there. I'm on Wiki. I'm on the Star Wars fandom wiki.
You're on Wikipedia.
Yeah, I'm not actually on Wikipedia. That might be. Wait, I am. I am on Wikipedia.
Okay.
And the amount of information is so disappointing. It literally had Brian in your summation. Of giving the scene where it comes out, you've already gone through half of that page.
Oh my god, amazing.
So
this is the one thing in Star Wars lore that doesn't have like pages on pages of information.
So way to take away most of my talking points. Like
I'm sorry.
of my talking points on this thing. What Wikipedia reads, and I feel like this is the second episode where all I've done is read a wiki page, but that's whatever,
whatever. We can just read wiki pages to the audience, and I think they'd be happy about that.
This could become an informational talk show.
This goes back to
information that no one needs.
This goes back to my earlier argument on that other episode that reading's dumb, and I'll do the reading for you. So look, here's what it's. A death stick was a highly addictive illicit substance readily found in the underworld of Coruscant and other locales across the galaxy. It is delivered inside luminescent sticks. They were a favorite among desperate addicts and thrill seekers, just my kind of people. And this is new. Death sticks were created from distilled and refined Ixtal Silona, made from the balo mushrooms found on the planet Balasar.
See, this is what I mean with Star Wars lore, by the way. Like, I love Star Wars, but why? Why is there specific naming and planets of origin for literally a one-off joke in the worst Star Wars movie of the prequels?
Yeah, see, I love this. And also, Alex, the way you just Spanished it up a little bit there. Yeah.
Ixtal Silona.
Ixtal Silona from planet Balasar is fantastic.
Balosar.
Yeah, good job, George Lucas, by the way, for making your fictional drug like come from things and worlds that are very easy to put a Hispanic accent to.
I mean, it's kind of wonderful.
Seems like a weird choice on your part.
But also, I love the idea of like a Spanish accent, Spanish language sci-fi now. So I totally want to do this.
Well, like, there's Benicio del Toro in the new ones, and he's like is speaking with just his accent.
What a waste, right? I mean, what a softball. Okay, speaking of minorities in space and softballs, yes, I want to quickly throw a fastball here, a little wild card per se. Mm-hmm. I know someone to follow up the Star Wars drug with a Star Trek drug.
Okay,
a Star Trek Deep Space Nine drug.
Whoa.
That's right.
Ooh.
I'm talking about Ketracel White.
And you guys complain that I make deep cut jokes here. No, what is this?
No.
Okay, sorry. Say that again. What is it?
Ketracel White.
Okay.
Ketracel White. Come on, guys. Audience. Email right now. Ketracel White. You know what I'm talking about. Deep Space Nine. You all watched it. It's been a long COVID.
What do you want them to email? Just the word yes.
Thank you.
Harold wants everyone at home to email TWOScast@gmail.com.
Send me acknowledgement
with just the words.
It's TWOScastmail@gmail.com. We're not that official yet.
Okay, sure.
And you're going to just email the words Ketracel White.
Please. That or like a meme. You can also send me nudes. It's fine. And
I'm the one who checks the email.
We can't solicit that, Harold.
No, not soliciting. I'm just saying. I'm giving you an allowance. It's more of I'm just enabling. But hey, so Ketracel White. It's this drug that the the Dominion uses on their like grunt forces to keep them like loyal and like in need of the Dominion. So it's like this little tube of like semen-y looking stuff, and they like just jam it right into their throat holes, and it makes them feel a whole lot better about everything they're doing.
So Harold, you're telling me that there is a government in Star Trek Deep Space Nine or some sort of faction that has soldiers that they have fighting for them, that they keep placated and in a submissive state by forcing a semen-like substance down their throats.
Not into their throats per se, but like in a tube injector close to their throats. Yes.
What is this neck hole about? Is this a funny way to refer to mouths?
No. So they have like their grunt soldiers. The Dominion's like 3 different alien races. There's I thought these were people. The shapeshifters. There's the middle managers, and there's like the grunts, and they have cool names that I totally don't remember. I'm sorry, Star Trek fans. Email me so I know that you exist. Otherwise, I'm not going to care. So anyway, they have like this whole system where like they're all working for the shapeshifters, but they got the middle managers like giving out this drug to like the grunts. Yeah. Okay. And they all know what the deal is. The grunts are like, we're honorable fucking warriors and we can kill everybody if we wanted to, but they got this good shit. So yeah, no. We won't stay around and keep doing this thing because they got the good stuff.
Okay.
And so Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Captain Sisko, Avery Brooks, the best fucking captain out there. I know I really want to see him and Patrick Stewart like kiss at least once, but they are out there. They're fighting the Dominion, and they use like a replacement drug. They're like, we'll give you something else. We'll tell you how to make your own shit, and then you don't have to keep going to these drug dealers anymore. And like that's how they fucking like get in there.
What does
that's Star Trek Deep Space Nine wrapped up for you within like a minute.
Yeah, is this the main plot of that series? Is that they replace
It's one of like the 6 plots of the series. They replace the cum drug with a fake cum drug. It's good stuff. Ketracel White, get yourself a vial. And yeah, no, I think that's how it goes. That's I watched it while stoned, but you know how it is, drugs, man.
What does Ketracel White do? Does it make you like? Does it get you there? Or like,
you know,
what
it's funny because like they're always like super vague. It's like it's very like early 90s vague about it.
Okay.
But it's like they get all like shivery and weird if they don't get it, and they're all like, we need it, crap, oh man, I'm just like not who I am without it. And then like they take it and they get all like slightly orgasmic and like, you know, they do like the whole, you see like actors do drugs and they like do the thing and then they kind of do that. Oh, it's not really like that, but that's how they sell it. You know, they sell it like it's the heroin kind of thing. You know?
Yeah, I was gonna say I think that's an interesting point to bring up because like I haven't done as many drugs as Alex, but anytime that I have, I don't think I've ever once like experienced orgasmic effects from that first fat rip or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it's called fat rips.
And I don't think I've ever once been like, oh man, I'm so turned on by this drug. Like,
yeah, my eyes have never rolled back as I lose focus in the room. Yeah.
My favorite depiction of any drug ever is whenever anyone in anything smokes weed and it just like changes everything, right? Suddenly
it turns into like a kaleidoscope psychedelic. Yeah,
you're like in a 1960s like music video or whatever, and it's just an acid trip. And like I you know, back in the day, I used to smoke weed, but I don't think I ever got transported.
So the truth comes out.
I don't think I ever got transported to another world off of marijuana.
I feel like that has to come from like earlier days of drug depiction in like the 60s or whatever, of like popular depictions of like, the Beatles with Yellow Submarine or something, and it's like, oh my god, like they're like, this is what they see, this is what their life is like, and it's because they're doing fucking acid, but no one wants to admit they're doing acid, so instead they're like, oh yeah, that's what happens when you smoke weed, and then that's just carried down through the ages.
Oh, it's deeper still. I mean, there's Reefer Madness. Reefer Madness from like 1935 is exactly that storyline of like,
everyone should go watch Reefer Madness once in their lives because it's amazing.
It's great. It's fantastic.
Smoke this outsider cigarette and watch the mania set in.
It's just such an incredible display of someone boldly knowing nothing about anything that they're talking about.
It is pretty fantastic.
It makes you
really good.
Play piano very quickly. Yes.
Speaking of boldly talking about something you know nothing about,
let's continue with this entire show. Yes,
I'm gonna bring up a drug that I find just absolutely fantastic to think about, because I feel like they're like, a lot of drugs in sci-fi and fiction have what we've already discussed of like these greater implications about them, right? Of like this is where they come from, this is what they're used for, this is like what they do or anything. And I want to bring up one that haunts me because I don't think it has any of that, and it's the slow-mo drug from the 2012 Dredd film, Judge Dredd. Which is literally called, I looked this up, and in my mind I was like, it's called like Synchro or Chronos or like some, no, it's just called slow-mo. That's the name of the drug in fiction.
Oh fuck, they didn't even like think of a cool name.
They didn't bother. The Dredd 2012 movie, I love it for what it is, but they did not bother trying at all with that movie. Nothing about it makes sense.
Just name it after the Premiere Pro setting we're going to apply to this clip.
Yep.
So, but slow-mo is in this movie, give you two guesses as to what it does. It slows down your perception of time. That's what it does. It slows down your perception of time to like a fraction of what it is.
You didn't even let me guess.
So everything just feels like it takes really long. And I wonder every time I think about it, like, why was this created and what is the point of it? Because like, ostensibly, I guess the idea that's given in the movie. First off, like, as far as I remember, the only time we really like see the effects of this drug in the movie is when someone like gives it to someone, and like he like forcibly I forget if it's inhaled or injected or what. They forcibly give it to a guy and then they throw him off of like a high drop and he falls down to the ground and then smashes into the ground. And it's like the idea of like, oh, it's going to be like the worst death ever because he's going to feel like he's falling for like 5 years before he dies and there's nothing he can do about it the whole time. Sure, like that's kind of cool, but like
that's just twisted, man.
What are the uses of this? It's twisted. It's good for a villain. What are the uses of this outside of that scenario, though? Because like we're told, I guess, that the idea is that it's supposed to be for like, oh, any pleasure you feel will also like take really. But if you take the drug, the process to get to that pleasurable feeling is gonna feel really long too. So I feel like it's going to fuck up your ability to get there. So like, Alex, you've been saying the whole thing, like, is it going to get me there? Like, I feel like this won't. I feel like it's going to be a very arduous process to get there with slow-mo. And I don't understand why it would have ever exist.
That reminds me of going out of cinema for a second. That reminds me a bit of Fallout, with, the wonderful drugs of Fallout. Oh, yeah. I think that's pretty much what Jet is. I think Jet. You take
I guess it's supposed to be, in theory, it like slows down.
I think it must be a reference to the same kind of concept because it's like this weird like injector thing, like the symbol for it.
Well, Jet. I do know Jet in Fallout is inhaled. It's like an inhaler that you puff.
Okay, all right. Well, you know what I'm talking. Yeah, there's buff. There's buff out. Yeah.
And in theory, in Fallout 4, it's revealed that you make it with shit. You inhale shit fumes. And that slows down time.
Yep. But yeah, all that stuff. I mean, it makes great sense in like a video game setting to like, oh, you slow down reactions and shit like that. And this one makes you bigger. And this one makes you like, I love the idea of like the buff out too. Is it's like, let me just take this quick syringe of like steroids shit. And then I'll get like a minute and a half of being super roided out. Yeah, and then I'm out.
And those I think kind of work because a lot of those are like what you just said of like a minute and a half. They're like short term. Jet is like this, this momentary burst of like slow down time for a moment, like, whoa, crazy. And the slow-mo, like, we don't get that sense from it in the movie. So that's why I bring it up as like, it's just this ultimate weird take on like, what could like drugs do to make you feel really good? Here's a drug that doesn't make you feel good. It just lets you feel good for longer if you're already feeling good.
You're missing out on the most important side effect of this drug, though. Not only does it make it slow-mo, it also makes everything sparkly.
It does it? I don't remember that.
Yeah, it enhances.
It's another of the fucking 60s psychedelic drugs that's like, oh man, it makes everything, it makes you go on like a fucking trip, dude.
It enhances colors and everything gets slow-mo.
I mean, what else is the filmmaker supposed to do? Like make it all brown?
They could just slow down time. They could just use the slow-mo effect.
Oh, it applies a yellow filter to everything and you're in Mexico in slow motion.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. See, I was just thinking that too. Dread from like 2002. I was thinking about Minority Report with our main man Tom Cruise.
Oh, yeah, the weird like inhaler drug that he takes.
Yeah, another strange inhaler drug. You know, and also with the sci-fi movies, you got to get a cool injector thing. You got to get a cool little devicey thing.
Everybody likes we do like the ways of like these fictional delivery methods for drugs. That's true. Because I think I imagine inhalers are popular because it's like both something that does like immediately call to attention of like you're like inhaling this, it's going to enter your bloodstream quickly. And also it's something that like not a lot of real life drugs really like you don't put them in inhalers. And also it's a lot and it's also a lot faster than like a whole injection scene in a movie. It's not going to work as well if Tom Cruise is there in Minority Report like we got to solve these crimes and like rubber band around his bicep and like melting it over a spoon, stick it in the syringe. Here we go.
Do it, Tom Cruise. I've lived a hard life.
That doesn't work as well.
To close things out, I'm gonna rapid fire run through a list of fictional drugs that I've found here. There is.
All right. There's a lot of them, I'm sure.
From Clockwork Orange, there's the Malaco Plus, which just seems to be milk that makes you...
it just makes you a dick, doesn't it?
Just makes you a dick. That's it. There's also from Star Wars Glitter Stim Spice, which is apparently made by fucking spice spiders in space. Energy spiders.
Space energy spice spiders?
Yeah, look that shit up.
How have we not had a series about them?
I don't know. But it's apparently made out of energy spiders, and that's a thing on the spice mines of Kessel. Substance D from A Scanner Darkly, which I've seen and just seems to make you highly dependent and possibly hallucinogenic and eventually leads to like dissociation. I don't know. The Spice Melange from Dune.
That's a super good one.
Yeah, it makes you time travel and see the future.
Can we touch real quick on the number of fantasy, especially sci-fi drugs that are just referred to as spice of some kind?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it's classic. It's Dune. It's a pivotal fucking story where like the drug is the center of the universe. It's amazing.
It's classic and I like it and it's fantastic. But like, I'm just commenting on like, why are there so many spices out there?
I don't know.
It's because of Dune, and it's a shame that it's so late in this episode that we finally get to Dune.
Well, really quick, okay, and lastly, just two more drugs that I'm only bringing up because the names are really dumb.
Okay.
Westworld has a drug called Genre. I don't know what it does. It's just called Genre. And then Smallville, apparently there's a drug called Red Kryptonite.
Yes.
Wait, hold on. They named it's Red Kryptonite is a thing.
It's a thing. I remember this episode. I remember this. Keep going, please.
It's apparently a class ring made of Red K. Which is kind of like apparently a bad cocaine, or makes you feel like you're on cocaine, and it's for Superman.
But Red Kryptonite is a thing in Superman.
Yeah, but he had to get like exposed to it in high school and show that he's a bigger guy and say like, no way, man.
Clark Kent doesn't do drugs. He's a good, honest American boy.
I'm gonna go home and drink water.
And that's our show, everybody. We're still figuring out what this is. Thanks for tuning in. If we made you laugh, why not go get hooked on the most amazing drug that you can find at patreon.com/TWOScast. That's TWOS cast, and send us $2 to and you know what? Sending that $2, it's gonna get you there. That's gonna be like the fattest rip you could ever take.
What's more addictive than giving?
Instead of buying that bag of meth, I guess it comes in bags.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Send us money. Send us money instead, and see how that makes you feel.
Yeah.
I bet it'll make you feel good. It'll feel something.
Then then we can buy the meth. Do we want to say that we'll buy the meth?
No.
We'll buy meth with all the money you give us. So
No, we don't want to. Let's not mention meth. Let's talk about Dune again. Let's go back to Dune.
And also remember to email twoscastmail@gmail.com with what was the name of that thing? The something white. Calico white.
Calico white?
Ketracel white. Why are we such different nerds, Brian? Why are we like two sides of the same room?
Email the words Ketracel white and then also email us requesting a Dune episode, and we'll do a Dune episode.
Yeah. The
podcast fans, I need you guys to be out there. I need your acknowledgement that the things I say are real. So please email me your acknowledgement, your memes, your emojis, and your nudes.
Don't do that last thing. Check the show notes for links to just like everything. And remember, as always, I don't know. We don't have like a catchphrase yet. That's not something we're doing yet. We'll figure it out.
You wrote a line in here, and we haven't done it once.
Because it's not a good one. I mean, I like it. It's a quote from somebody, but it's not really like a good line.
I assumed it was like a take on like the Bill and Ted like be excellent to each other. And we were just I assumed that sort of like the intro, it would just get longer and more convoluted every time.
Just do better. Just do fucking better.
The line that he's referring to is endeavor to cherish each other unequivocally. One of the creators from Penny Arcade wrote that on someone's thing like years ago, and it just always stuck with me. But that has nothing to do with the show. It's over. Bye.
That's sappy, Alex. Get that sappy shit out of here. It
is sappy. That's why I haven't been saying it.
Email us with ending lines at twoscastmail@gmail.com.
Tell us what this show is.
Yeah.
Fear is the mind.
And Ketracel white.
I'm leaving the Zoom.
That's it. It's over.